Siamir Florian Seiker.
I would like to welcome and thank you all for being here with us today. It is exciting times for HTC, and I'm personally proud of having been part of it since the beginning of our operations in Europe just 5 years ago. Our latest products are being selected by more operators and are being chosen by more consumers than ever before. Please welcome the CEO of HTC, Peter Chow.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you as well. And thanks for joining us today. It's such a beautiful day, sunny. I'm very excited today. You know, I say this every year. Even 8 years ago, when we launched our first smartphone with Orange in this building, the same building. But, you know, it continues to be true. It's such exciting time to be in mobile industry. And I'm proud that HTC continue to be a leader and innovator for smartphone. A lot has happened for HTC in the last year. And I want to thank you all supporting HTC. Some of you may remember that me saying last year, the smartphone is a new phone. By listening and observing how people use their phone and making smartphone experience simpler with HTC Sense, we have broken new ground and introduce smartphone to new consumer segment that were previously intimidated by the complexity of the smartphone. The smartphone has arrived. Smartphone becoming mainstream phone. And HTC continue to innovate faster and drive even more choices for customers. As an example, the HTC Hero was honored by the GSMA as the best phone of 2009. When I look back, I think our unveiling of HTC Hero with HTC Sense last summer was a key milestone that drove our growth. In the last year, we have also driven our global marketing effort broader than ever before, and which has resulted in HTC brand awareness doubling. We want people to view HTC as a brand that is different. Different in how it looks at the wall, and more importantly, how it looks at its relationship with people. We have found that being true to our value, focusing on innovation, simplify the smartphone experience, is beginning to capture the hearts and minds of our customers. For us, this is what quality brilliant is about. And this is what driving our business. HTC is now a top 4 smartphone makers and continue to be the major global Android and Windows smartphone brand. We are actually very excited for the upcoming launch of HTC's Windows Phone 7 devices. HTC has been very focusing on making the best smartphone. We are so passionate about driving HTC's experience forward with improved usability, cutting-edge innovation, and expand the breadth of the experience. And even sometimes little things like weather. We work so hard to make it really, really useful as part of your life and beautiful. We have the most beautiful widgets in the world. Today, we are introducing the new HTC Sense that takes the experience to a whole new level for our customers. As a big step of HTC brand, we are also introducing a series of connected HTC services we call HTCSense.com. HTCSense.com provide customer additional capability to manage, control, and customize their experience from their phone or from their PC. So no longer is HTC about just putting a phone in your hand. We are extending HTC experience beyond the phone. To show you some of the new HTC Sense experience, I would like to introduce John Wang, HTC's Chief Marketing Officer. Thank you.
HTC Sense. Before we talk about what HTC Sense is, let's talk about what it's not. HTC Sense is not just an UI. It's not an overlay. It's not a home screen. HTC Sense is a holistic experience that is filled with many moments of delight. You know how sometimes when you encounter something so simple, you just wonder, why haven't I thought of that before? How come other brands don't do the same thing? How come not everything else works just like that? These insightful moments of delight are what we at HTC aspire to deliver. Let me give you one small example. Did you know that an HTC phone will ring louder when it's in a handbag or a pocket? That just makes sense, right? There's more. When you pick the phone out of the handbag, the phone senses that it has been moved. Since the user already noticed, the ring will politely fade away. If the phone rings during a meeting where 20 people are just staring at you, you simply flip the phone over to silence it. And if you do want to take this call, just right before you touch the green top button, you see the caller's Facebook update right next to the caller ID. So you can answer with happy birthday. Think about this. The act of answering a phone call lasts only a moment. But to deliver to you this brief moment of surprise, we at HTC work so hard to turn this everyday moment into a perfect moment. That is HTC Sense. Today, I'd like to share with you some of the new ways that I hope HTC Sense will bring a smile to your face. when your plane lands, you're staring at the seatbelt sign, waiting for the light to go off so you can immediately turn on your phone. We all did that, right? Well, doesn't the phone always feel like it's taking forever to power on? With HTC Sense, the phone powers on in about 10 seconds. So when other people are still staring at the logo in their screens, you already made your first phone call. When other people are still waiting, you already are receiving new text messages. When other people are getting frustrated, you are already downloading unread emails. As you walk from gate 22 to gate 66, how do you get through all these emails while still have enough time for a coffee? Many people even have multiple accounts to check, one by one. With HTC Sense, you can view just one account, or you can view multiple accounts in a single inbox. Sometimes you have so many unread emails that you don't even know where to begin. With HTC Sense, you can slide over to VIP and take care of the priorities first. If you want to concentrate on only the unread emails, you can slide over to that view as well. Even with only the unread emails, there are still some not so important messages that scatter throughout the inbox, right? With HTC Sense, you can quickly check, and then mark them as read or delete them. One pass is all it takes. And if you are reading a long email where only part of the text has been downloaded, you can actually see that the rest of the text automatically loads as you read. This is to save you time. Less time with email means more time for friends. Your friends' latest texts, emails, updates are all part of the HTC People experience. And right from the home screen, one click lets you see what your friend Joseph is up to. You can also type you can also post a comment to his latest update. And when you are ready to share a photo, you can tag the faces in the photo before you upload this photo to Facebook. So everybody can see the good time that you all are having. HTC Sense makes communication simple. You're in a new city, just got out of the subway, trying to figure out which way to go. From your map, you know where you are, you know where you need to be, but you don't know which direction you need to orient yourself. We all saw tourists standing by the sidewalk, spinning their map, trying to figure out which way to go, right? With HTC Sense, when you touch the compass button, the map orients toward the direction that you physically face. Doesn't that just make sense? And speaking of maps, when we use online maps, what's our biggest challenge? Waiting. When you pan, you wait. When you zoom in, you wait again. When you zoom out, you have to wait. With HTC Sense, the map experience is a zero-wait experience because the map can be pre-cached or preloaded. It is zero-wait no matter how far you pan, zoom in, or zoom out. And that's the way it should be. When you're driving, what happens if somebody calls you? Well, the incoming call just takes over the whole screen, right? Just because you receive a phone call does not mean you have to miss a turn. With HTC Sense, the map experience and the phone experience are integrated as one. When you get a call, the map simply tells up to make room for the phone call to come in. And when you're at a stoplight waiting, aren't you curious to know what comes next? Well, you can take a virtual helicopter tour. It plays your upcoming route in fast forward so you can anticipate your next maneuvers. And when the light turns green, you simply return to reality and continue to drive. With HTC Sense, you don't move the map. The map automatically moves for you. When you are capturing a once-in-a-lifetime moment, such as the Tour de France, you want to be sure you do that in HD. And when you share it, you want to share in HD as well. Sometimes we share by showing the phone to our friends. Remember that last time when you have 4 or 5 people crowded around your phone trying to view that video that you had? Well, wouldn't it be a lot better to share via a big screen TV? With HTC Sense, you can send a video from the phone to the TV. You simply select the TV as your screen. And now, the TV is your phone. And if you have one of the older TVs that do not support the DNA, well, we took care of that as well. HTC Sense lets you share your memories in a big way. I'm at my desk, trying to remember the name of that London restaurant that my friend texted me before. But that was a long time ago, and the text message is probably not even in my phone anymore. So what can I do? With HTC Sense, as I communicate with my friends, all the back and forth messages are continually captured into the cloud. So from any computer, from any web browser, I can log into htcsense.com and search for that text message. There is that message from long time ago. And since I now have the name of the restaurant, I can look it up on the map and save it to my footprints. With htcsense.com, whatever I do on my computer will show up on my phone. So I can just grab it and go. HTC Sense remembers conversations that even you forgot you had. Remember the last time when you could not find your phone? Well, picture that. You have just torn apart your house looking for it, and you could not find the phone. Well, there is a dog at the corner of that screen right now. Maybe the dog actually got it. Well, you know, we all experienced that before. You know, eventually, you get your friend to call your mobile number to make the phone ring. We all did that. But what if the phone has been switched to silent? Well, we know that feeling too, don't we? Here, I simply log into htcsense.com and click the ring button. Well, there's that phone. Makes sense, right? What happens if I'm in my office and just realize that I left my phone at home? Well, I log into htcsense.com and then just forward all my calls to my office number for the day. Well, let's make it a little harder. What happens if I left my phone in a restaurant? I log into HTCSense.com and just lock the phone. And in this case, I can even type a lost and found message. With HTCSense.com, whatever I type on my computer will show up on the lock screen of the phone. And there is even a button right here that says, call my owner. Now let's make the situation really desperate. What happens if I left my phone on a train? Well, at this point, I'm probably not going to see this phone again. But what I worry about is the data. There is a self-destruct button right here. So I'm going to click erase phone. And everything is now done.
So now I'm very excited to introduce you. This is HTC Desire HD, and this is HTC Desire Z. Now I would like to introduce Horace Loeb, HTC's Chief Innovation Officer. Thank you.
There's never been a better time, a more exciting time for phone design. Just think about it. This morning, you got up, you jumped into the shower, you put your clothes on, you start, driving down the highway, and then you reach back and go, uh-oh, I forgot my wallet. Well, the first thing I'm going to think about is, am I going to borrow $5 from Florian to kind of get through lunch, maybe pay for parking at the end of the day. But, life goes on. Probably not going to miss much throughout the day. But, if I reach back and I go, uh-oh, I forgot my phone. Well, now my entire life is upside down. The first thing I'm going to think about is, which strange exit am I going to get off from, on the highway? And then going through this strange neighborhood I'm not familiar with, so I can make a U-turn and go home and kind of reboot my morning, so to speak. Because a phone is more than just a phone today. It is probably the most personal object you own. Kind of like what a watch used to be. That's why the design and the use of material in the design of the phone is more important than ever. Take a watch, for example. When you buy a watch, you're not going to think about plastic watch. You might if you're buying it for your kid, right? Something temporary. But for yourself, you can think about a little more sophisticated materials like metal, right? You can think about the little details, right? The finishes on it. Does it have hairline, polish, how the edges feel? Does it have little facets on it so it reflects light differently? How does it feel in your hand?
That's why I'm so proud of what the team has accomplished over the last year. They've taken probably the most challenging material of all, metal, and built phones out of it. It started with HTC Legend, really, earlier this year, where they took a solid piece of aluminum and then they forged it, and then they carved it and polished it into an entire phone. Well, with Desire HD and Desire Z, the design team has taken that both process of using aluminum and design to a whole new level. The first thing you'll notice with Desire HD is this 4.3-inch, bigger-than-life display. But we know today that people do a lot more than just multimedia on the phone. They're doing emails, internet, and now they're even reading books. Well, that's why we have partnered up with Kobo and developed a very natural end-to-end experience. So you can read books, you can get recommendation to books, you can buy books, you can read books, you can highlight within a book, you can even take notes in the book, and then you can also come back to the book at a later time and actually see all this at the end of the book. Very easy experience, as natural as if you're picking up the book. The next thing you'll notice about Desire HD is this 8 megapixel camera and the dual flash. But we all know that there's a lot more to a photo experience than a great camera and great performance. Well, that's why the team has been working really hard on developing a number of fun effects, including distortion, fisheye, sepia, vignettes. So now you can have fun with photos and make any photo the center of every conversation. Of course, with big screen, you need big sound. How many of you guys have ever watched a video or a movie on a small device and just something just doesn't feel right? It doesn't feel like you're at home watching a movie, right? It's just not big enough. Well, that's why we've been working with Dolby to integrate both Dolby Mobile and SRS. So now, watching movies and listening to music is just a front row experience. Big display, big sound, a killer photo experience, and all the latest and greatest of HTC Sense and HTCSense.com that John talked about. This is the best of all of what HTC has done, packaged into one single handset. We also know that at HTC that people like things that are different from each other. A lot of you have actually written me. Ben, for example, has written me an email and said, Horace, what's going on? You guys don't build, sliding keyboard handsets anymore. Well, it's actually been quite the opposite. Our designers have been working very, very hard, almost stalking out users, so to speak. They've been following them, both in labs and also outside, looking at ergonomics, looking at the behaviors, the natural behaviors, the tasks they do when they're on the go with a hardware keyboard, right? Because some people are used to just touchscreen keyboard, and some people they want that dependable hardware keyboard. Well, one of the things I've noticed inside the lab when I actually visit some of these visits was I noticed that people, I saw a girl with a slightly longer fingernail, right, or a guy with a slightly bigger thumb. And they're always doing this. How many of you guys have seen this, right? They're doing this on the keyboard, trying to get to the top row of the keys. That actually inspired us as designers to come up with something very innovative. A hinge that we call the Z hinge. Well, what this hinge does is that it not only slides the keyboard out, but it also pops the display down so that you can rest your finger onto the keyboard naturally as you type. No more acrobats with your front fingers, trying to avoid the thumb jamming against the top case. you will also see that we pay a lot of attention to the keyboard design, both ergonomically and also just in simple layout. You'll notice that on the upper left-hand corner, no longer do you have to go, symbol, shift, and then click something in order to get at. Because we know people want to do email on a device like this. That just makes sense. We also programmed in a couple programmable keys on the lower right-hand corner, where you can program in your favorite tasks, like calling a person, sending a person a text message, even launching an application. So now you can multitask at any time without ever lifting your thumb from the keyboard. And of course, for those people who come from years of using hardware keyboards, there are certain things that they just are used to and now it's become second nature to them. Things such as, while they're reading an email, just simply click R to reply email, F to forward one, A to reply all. Well, the design team has built that into the phone, so now it's more natural than ever for them to use the phone. HTC has innovated on the hardware keyboard. And I believe this time, the design team has raised the bar once again for the industry. Thanks.
Thank you, Horace. I'm so excited to see these new phones and to see the new HTC Sense. And I'm also excited that we have more partners than ever joining us to bring these new devices to market starting from October this year. I'm especially proud to have Vodafone join us here at our event and partner with us in a very, very close fashion over the last number of years. Please let me welcome and introduce our dear friend Patrick Chaumet, Global Director of Terminals for Vodafone Group.
So, good morning, and thank you, Florian, thank you, Peter, for the kind invitation. I'm really pleased to be here today. It's a great time, actually, it's great fun in the industry. I've been in this industry for now 20 years, and I've never seen such speed and excitement. So why is it exciting? I think the smartphone era that we saw coming in all our PowerPoint strategies for a few years is now real, very real, and we see it in some things that I want to share with you. So today, 1/3 of our customers in Europe are regularly browsing. 1/3. You could say 2/3 to go, but 1/3, it's big. Today, we see really, really interesting stuff happening on usage of these machines and on behavior of customers. So just to give you an example, we saw year-on-year growth 100% of usage of social networking sites. We saw interesting use case here, year-on-year growth 88% of usage of maps and location. And clearly the need for people to use mobility and the need for people to connect to the people they like and they love is enabled by these exciting new devices and capabilities that our friends put into the devices. So really, really exciting time. And for us, it's just the beginning. Just to give you a view, I expect that we will bring new sales of smartphones in Europe to 70% within the next 2 years. I expect that half of our base in Europe within the next 2 years is smartphone enabled. So this is very important to us and the start of a very exciting story. At Vodafone, we clearly have a strategy to lead the data. We want to enable all our customers in all segments, all geographies, with data and relevant usage and services with data. We have invested a lot in the network, we have invested a lot in the services, we invest a lot in the user experience, and we will continue. So why I'm pleased to be here today, our partnership with HTC has been extremely productive over the last 2 years. We have a very, very deep relationship. We love the products. We work really hard on the products. We are product guys. And we've been, over the last 2 years, do some really cool stuff with Peter, Horace, Florian, and the team. with the HTC Magic, which was one of the first real consumer device on Android. It was a really cool device. Why do you remember that? We've done the Nexus exclusive, we've done the Legends, we launched in Barcelona exclusive, and we work very, very deeply on bringing the new capabilities that Horace and team are developing and our services into the devices, and we'll continue to do so. So I'm really pleased to be here as the lead operator partner with HTC. We will launch the Desire HD and the Desire Z in all our markets in due course. We will launch it exclusive in some of the markets. Very exciting times in Spain, Nacho here, in Australia, in Turkey, which is a very big growth market for us. And we will, more importantly, continue to work very hard with Peter and his team to enable our customer base with great experiences. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for Vodafone's close relationship. And I look forward Vodafone customer seeing the new HTC Sense and the new products. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again, Patrick. Thanks again. Thank you. I would also like to thank, our partnership with other partners, Vodafone, Orange, and T-Mobile, O2, and we really appreciate partnership. And also would like to thank some of the Asian operators joining us, KT Telecom from Korea. Thank you very much, and supporting HTC brand and product. As you have seen, that we have put a lot of thought into how we move forward and how we deliver our unique value to our customers. And this unique value will be delivered through the HTC Desire HD and HTC Desire Z. HTCSense.com is an important strategic initiative that we are committed to further developing and bring more functionality to HTC Sense. And we also see the continued advance of HTC Sense, and we will continue working on that. And we are very excited and very committed to continue to innovate smartphone and to drive, to contribute the smartphone industry globally in a very quietly brilliant way. And I want to thank you again for coming, joining us today. And we have a lot of others, HTC Sense new features. We are not able to show everything here. I hope you can find out later here in the demo area. Thank you again. Thank you.
Bitdefender is dedicated to protecting people's digital lives, so working with Unboxings.com to help preview and review the latest technology is a perfect fit.